Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we are starting with a very new series which is very important in the coming year, coming tax year, which is effective from 1st April 2026. Okay. So now on the screen we see the new Income Tax Act 2025, a new era of direct taxation in India. So, friends, after 64 years, India's direct tax law is entering a new era. The Income Tax Act 1961 is being replaced by the Income Tax Act 2025, which is effective from April 2026. So, this is not just renumbering, this is structural simplification. The whole idea of this new act is structural simplification, drafting reform, and modernization. So, in this session and in all the upcoming sessions, in which we're going to talk about the new act, which we all should know because this is the act which will be very active and effective for all of us. So, I will explain what the real new act means in a clear, structured, and a positive way. So, you have to be with me in this entire series because this is for taxpayers as well as for the professionals. So, section by section walkthrough of India's modernized and the much talked about tax law. So, my dear friends, this is so important. The 1961 Act was amended more than 1,500 times. Can you imagine? 64 years of amendments, 100 and 500 times the act has been amended. Sections were inserted, provisos added, explanations multiplied. Over time, complexity increased. The objective of the 2025 Act is simplification, rationalization, modern legislative drafting, alignment with digital governance, and litigation clarity. So, this is a reform of structure, not just merely rates. Rates, so they haven't changed at all from 1961 to 2026. They haven't changed any rate. So, structural highlights we're going to talk about. This is our first video on the new act, and there are a series of videos which is going to come about and we're going to talk about and we're going to learn it, unlearn the old fact, relearn or new learnings, sessions, everything. So here we have the new act contains 536 sections. Initially, the old act, that means the 1961 act, was having around 819 sections. Now the new act is having 536 sections. They haven't changed anything, only the redundant sections, the sections which were not applicable or whose times have been surpassed, they have been deleted off, so that to make the law look more simple and simplified and concise. So there are 23 chapters. Initially, we had 47 chapters, and now we have 23 chapters. Great. It's a good going. So now we have 16 schedules into the Act, and these schedules have been introduced, to streamline definitions and improved cross referencing, relocated chapter specific provisions, and modern statutory language. So, this is when we compare this with the earlier structure, which had fragmented numbering and heavy cross referencing, the 2025 Act reorganizes the law into a cleaner, logically arranged framework. It's very important. It improves navigability, which directly reduces interpretational confusion. Initially, the law was, scattered. At one section is here, uska explanation is given somewhere else, and then the rates are given somewhere else. So वो इसमें नहीं है. They have like tried to put everything at one place so that once you are reading one particular thing, one particular section, it comprises of everything into it. So it is important. So this is again a very important change, a very positive change which has been brought about into the new act. So we are going to cover section 1 and 2 into this presentation, into this video, and likewise we will be covering the entire act. So you need to stay tuned, subscribe to my channel so that you get to know the entire act, and it's a very simple one. You will really love it. So here what we have is the first thing is the act extends to the whole of India. 1961 act had some exclusions into it like JNK and all that stuff. But now this act extends to the whole of India. It comes into force from 1st of April 2026. It's pan India based, applies to all territories within the Union of India. Okay, this means no revival of expired limitations. Ongoing proceedings continue under the old law. Legal continuity is preserved. This ensures transition stability. They have kept, many things into mind. The finance minister Nirmala Sitaraman ji has really worked a lot out of here, and try to simplify it in a much better way. And this is how it is now looking. So old system 1961 act, we have previous year, we have assessment year concept, and then we had the 2 year system. It used to be very confusing. I remember when I was just studying for my CA, and then we used to just get confused, what is assessment year, what is previous year, what is financial year, and it used to be very confusing. So previous year is basically the financial year, and assessment year is the next year in which the previous year or the financial year's income is getting calculated. Okay, it used to be confusing, but now that whole confusion is wiped off. No 2 year system. The new system 2025 act is talking only about tax year. This is one of the most important reforms in the introduction of the tax year. Under 1961, we had previous year, assessment year, dual concept, and all that confusion, which is still there amongst students. Students normally say, why previous year, why assessment year, and why financial year when it is talking about the same thing? Okay, so that is being heard. Bingo. Okay, so this simplifies interpretation, drafting, compliance, and education. Okay, great. So here, this is perhaps the most practical simplification in the entire reform. This is the best thing I like in the new Act 2025. Great. So it's a good learning happening. And here we are with the next section, section 2, which is definitions re-engineered. So what they have done here is the core definitions remain centralized. The new act is redistributing the definitions. Chapter specific definitions have been placed within those relevant chapters only. So when you're reading one chapter, you have everything into there. You have the chapter definitions, you have the chapter rates, you have chapter specific provisions also. So certain interpretative provisions are moved to schedules. This improves readability and reduces mechanical citation errors. Okay, this is so important. So now what we have is fewer errors, reduced excessive cross-referencing eliminates the risk of misreading provisions due to circular definitional chains. Initially, it used to be very difficult. You're reading a definition somewhere, and then you're reading the main provision somewhere, then you're talking about the rate somewhere. So it used to be a whole lot of confusion. Now they have, put it in one, structured way, and it is getting more simpler. So now what we hear is positive impact for taxpayers. What changes for you? Key benefits of the new act brings to every taxpayer in India. It's simple in language. The language at many places they have tried to use a very simple language. Legislation drafted in plain, accessible statutory English. Fewer multi-clause sentences requiring legal decoding. So now it's like just a normal layman. Of course, it's not that WhatsApp English or whatever you type on Insta or whatever you type on your personal chats. It's not like that, but definitely it is English, a plain, beautiful English, which is easy and very understandable. So there are fewer interpretational issues. That is what is been the idea of this whole new entire Act 2025. So reduced technical duplication, repetitive provisions, cross-reference traps, and definition loops have been eliminated for cleaner reading. This is more important. So a law that is easier to read is easier to comply with. This is the basic idea. So, clearer compliance roadmap, taxpayers can now locate their obligations in context without navigating through scattered provisions. Faceless regime alignment, structural compatibility with NFSC, that means National Faceless Appellate Center, and faceless proceedings for smoother digital compliance. This is important. Anyways, the government's objective is to move to a better and a compliant thing. So, now what is the impact on professionals? Of course, it is very important for all of us to know what is the impact. So, if fresh drafting discipline is there, all pleadings, submissions, and opinions must be restructured to cite 2025 Act. So, we have to, when we are dealing with the tax year 2026, then we have to, our all pleadings and submissions and opinions will be structured as per the new Act 2025 because it is applicable from 1st of April 2026. And we have to ignore the provisions. I mean, the Act 1961 Act ceases with effect from 1st April 2026. So, updated citation structure we will have to keep in mind whenever we are replying to the notices into the new Act. So, remap legacy references. Existing research databases, compliance checklists, and standard operating procedures require comprehensive revision. This is a one time thing and that needs to be done. And I think people are already on the go because we are just to welcome the new tax year. So, training in transition is important. Professional bodies, ICI, bar, associations, and firms must invest in structured CP programs. Yes, the CA Institute is, anyways, doing it. Great. So now transition framework, old act versus the new act. So 1961 act is not repealed retroactively. Both acts operate in parallel during the transition period. So everything that is been happening in the old act will continue to happen in the old act. With effect from 1st April 2026, the new act becomes applicable. So all assessments, appeals and proceedings. This is very, very important, my dear friends. Have a careful note on this. All assessments, appeals and proceedings related to assessment years up to 2025-26 will continue under the Income Tax Act 1961. That means the old act. The new act is not applicable up to assessment year 2025-26. I get a lot of queries on the assessment proceedings part, that is my case applicable for the new provision. So it's a plain answer, no. The new act is applicable from 1st of April 2026 and for all the tax years in which is falling after 1st April 2026, not before that. So before that, 1961 Act will still prevail as if there was no new act. Okay. So no extension of time bars. The new act does not revive any time barred proceeding or extended expired limitation period. This is very important for people who are always asking, is the new act applicable? No, when you are into now, before 31st of March, before 1st of April 2026, you are under the old act and all the proceedings and all the provisions under as per the old provisions will be applicable to you. Ongoing cases unaffected? Yes. Pending matters before AO, CITA, ITAT, and courts will continue under the Act applicable to the new period. So, modernized compliance, opportunities ahead we have, it's a roadmap. And this reform opens several opportunities, reduce litigation ambiguity. I doubt this. Well, it has been said to be, interpretational friendly, improved drafting discipline will be there, better digital alignment, and stronger statutory coherence. A well structured act reduces interpretational disputes, but this is yet to be tested. We will see this in future, how this is going to come and help us. So, conclusion. Here we are at the Income Tax Act 2025 in a structural reset. It simplifies architecture. Great. It modernizes drafting. Important. Very, very important when we are into the faceless regime. It aligns taxation with digital governance. So the entire focus is again with the digital part coming into place. The key now is preparation during financial year 25-26. So here, those who prepared early will transition smoothly. So are you prepared? This is a one big question. You need to answer it yourself. You need not seek the answer from somebody else. Try preparing. Map 1961 Act with 2025. Update all compliance checklist. Train your team before April 2026. It is just about to come. It's already at your doorstep. So those who prepare early will transition smoothly. I repeat. So here it is very important that you be ready. This new act is effective 1st April 2026, and you have to be with me slowly, gradually. I'm anyways going to run you through the entire 2025 act in this educational series of mine, and you have to stay tuned with me till the end, till I have my last, the last section, which is section 536. Till then, you need to stay with me. Here we have just covered first and the section 1 and section 2. Now we have upcoming section 3 and section 4. So practical drafting under the 2025 act, I will be covering into these sessions slowly, gradually. So every session is very important. So whichever section I'm referring to, everywhere I'm going to give you a tip on the drafting part. The tax year is a full analysis, charging provisions explained in the next topic, next video. So stay tuned to the channel. And then this transition workshop, we are going to, that you'll be loving this, because I'm going to run you through the entire new act and the provisions of it and the do's and don'ts that you really need to be looking at it. So law evolves, but professionals evolve faster, and those who do not evolve, they stay back. So we are not doing that. Let us prepare for the Income Tax Act 2025 before it prepares us. So, you know, we are into this, and we are into the educational part wherein I am trying to educate all of you to have a smooth transition to the new act. So here I am available to you for the old act, for the new act. We work as white label model for CA firms. We are remote email based advisory. We deal in high stakes direct tax proceedings, and you have details onto the screen. Just have a pause at this slide and you have all my details. Whichever way you want to wish to get connected, just connect, because I'm going to post many new videos for the new act 2025. And stay tuned to my channel and subscribe it so that you do not miss any of it. So I hope this was an informative video, and keep subscribing, keep looking at it, so that I bring the gist of the entire act, the new act as well as the old act, and the challenges and the opportunities and the drafting skills that the new act brings to your desk. So see you in the next video. Till then, take care. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.